Hello, everybody. Good evening, good morning, good afternoon, wherever you are and however you're listening to this. Welcome to another edition of the Cajun Knight Live. I am your host, the Cajun Knight, Jacob Mook. We're going to be going over a lot of things today, okay? We have a lot of things going on in the news world as far as the United States is concerned. We got a couple of things from overseas I do want to kind of touch on for a moment, but that's not the primary mission for today's Cajun Knight news drop here, okay? We're going to be talking about some stuff, some things, and some stuff. I'm going to go ahead and share the screen right now. If you're watching this on the YouTubes, hit the follow, hit the subscribes, all the things. If you're watching this on the Patreon, that means you want to be a part of this collective every Wednesday night at 9 p.m. Central. Come join us. We're just trying to grow this to be its own information sharing group, meetup, if you will, every Wednesday night at 9 p.m. Central. There's only one tier for entry. Come check us out, Cajun Knight, patreon.com/Cajun Knight. Without further ado, I'm going to go ahead and share my screen. First things first. We had an incident. We had two incidents with Trump within the same 24-hour period, essentially. So Trump's helicopter taking off from where it takes off from, Marine One, apparently almost got hit by another plane from the Reagan International Airport. And y'all remember we had that incident with that Black Hawk hitting a plane and the Junior Olympic team, and all these things happened just like a year ago. Depending on the report you read or hear about, if you watch the video, which you're going to see in a second, the plane and the helicopter were nowhere near each other. It was close enough for them to be like, hey, what happened here? But not enough to where it's something that, like, everybody's fine. Everybody's fine. But with everything else going on with Trump, this is worth talking about. So here we go. This is from CBS Evening News. Federal investigation launched into air traffic incident involving Trump's helicopter, Marine One. Let's go.
Tonight with another scare for the president. Tonight, there's a federal investigation into an air traffic incident involving President Trump's helicopter, Marine One. It happened yesterday, moments before the president lifted off from the White House. An apparent protocol breach, air traffic controllers at Reagan National Airport failing to stop commercial planes from taking off. The president was headed to his golf resort in Southern California, where a suspect was arrested about 48 hours earlier. In both situations, officials say the president was not in danger, but both incidents are prompting questions. Our Nancy Cordes is at the White House. So, Nancy, what happened here?
Matt, new procedures were put in place just last year after a fatal midair collision just 4 miles away from here. Now, the FAA and the NTSB are trying to determine why the process did not work as planned yesterday and what, if anything, needs to change.
The protocol for a Marine One liftoff from the White House is well established. The pilot gives the tower at nearby Reagan National Airport a few minutes' notice so they can halt commercial takeoffs.
Tower, just want to make sure you copy Marine One, 3 minutes to lift.
But yesterday afternoon, multiple messages from Marine One went unanswered.
Tower, do you copy Marine One, 3 minutes to lift? That's on, that's broken and readable.
Marine One lifted off anyway at 2:33 p.m. A surprised controller warned the chopper that a commercial jet was just taking off.
Marine One, you got traffic rotating off runway 1.
National Tower from Marine One will be doing a momentary delay.
Marine One, roger.
A camera nearby captured Marine One crossing the Potomac River after the jet went by.
Okay, real quick, I paused it. This is the issue. Y'all see they are nowhere close to each other. It's fine. Yes, there was a breach of protocol. Yes, they're not even heading the same direction. It's not a good, you know what I'm saying? It's a oopsie. This one is an actual oopsie. Everything's fine. No equipment was damaged. No time was lost. No person was injured. It's fine. However, yes, this is still a breach of protocol that needs to be addressed. Now, what I am actually kind of curious about, you remember when that went down with the helicopter and the plane last year, and they tried saying it's because of Donald Trump that plane crashed into that helicopter because he's making all these budget cuts, and now the DEI is affecting our air traffic controllers, and now we don't have enough people to work the shifts. Y'all remember when they really tried like throwing that up and letting the people try to decide if that was a good enough excuse or not? I'm surprised they're not making that excuse now. I don't know. But, you know, it is worth mentioning anyway. Let's continue.
Apparently, something broke down yesterday.
Robert Sumwalt is the former chair of the National Transportation Safety Board. He says the new protocol halting airport traffic for Marine One was set up just last year after an Army Black Hawk helicopter collided with an American Airlines regional jet over the Potomac.
One of the things that happened after the mid-air collision of last year is that they eliminated a particular helicopter route around Washington Reagan Airport. But in this case, it's a different helicopter route, so they will continue to look for ways that they can improve safety.
The FAA has already conducted a preliminary review of yesterday's incident and says there was a momentary loss of separation between the jet and Marine One. The agency insists, however, that the president himself was never in any danger, something the White House has stressed as well.
Okay, fair enough. Fair enough. President Trump was not in any danger. Okay, it was in fact an oopsie situation, but it's still something to be addressed. Now, he did in fact have a real issue when he got to California, which is where he was going. He was taking the helicopter to get to the plane, and from the plane, he was going to take off to Southern California to a golf course where there was a little situation, which we're going to talk about here in a second. But I also wanted to mention this as we were talking about, the current events and the things going on. Perez Hilton, for anybody who did not hear, he kind of went crazy and started, I don't know what the technical term is for this one. I don't, especially because this was going up on YouTube. So I know the first few minutes I can't do anything to trigger algorithms or whatever. But he started poking himself long ways with a sharp object. I don't know. I'm trying to learn how to do the YouTube game here. Whatever. Long story short, the boy tried going for the decision you can't come back from, and apparently he did it live on TikTok, and the people saw it and called the local police officer. Sam, I see your hand. I am not calling on you specifically because I told you I'm trying to do YouTube with this one, and I know that you're going to do Sam things. So hold on. You got to hold it together for a minute. And no, don't give me the shocked face. Don't give me the face like you don't know what I'm talking about. Lord have mercy. Anyway, let's continue this here. Perez Hilton's family is speaking out after an alarming live stream that prompted fans to call the police. Longtime celebrity blogger, who's 48, who was rushed to the hospital after the Miami Sheriff's Office received multiple calls about a man live streaming acts of self-harm on social media. There, that's the YouTube way to say it. He is receiving medical care. Many of you have reached out with concerns for Perez, and we are incredibly grateful for the overwhelming outpouring of love, support, and prayers, is what the family said on Wednesday, August 5th. We can confirm that Perez is receiving medical care, and our family's focus right now is on his well-being. So I know last night when we were doing the Cult Conspiracy Live, also if you're watching on YouTube, you should be following us over at Cult Conspiracy Podcast, obviously, but we talked about it. And it was still kind of, we didn't actually know if he was, if he had perished or not, right? We genuinely didn't know. So to hear that he is receiving medical care, hopefully mental care as well, and he's all good, I at least wanted to give a quick update on that situation. Sorry, that detracted from the Trump conversation, but here we have it. There is I'm sorry, that's actually after this one. Man, I am losing it right now. So the New Mexico Attorney General is actually going after the Trump administration, specifically Blanche, for not investigating the Epstein Zorro Ranch connections. There's a new case that has been opened up in this regard, and I am really happy to hear about it, y'all. Let's learn together.
The group of state lawmakers searching for the truth about sex offender Jeffrey Epstein's ties to New Mexico gave an update today about what is next on their list. News 13's Marilyn Upchurch joins us live in the Newsplex with the latest.
The Truth Commission says it's already amassed more than 100,000 records relating to Epstein, and it's just the beginning. Now they are broadening their investigation, issuing subpoenas to even...
I want to take a second. Can we get Marilyn Upchurch of KRQE News 13? Can we get her to possibly start saying it with her chest? I'm asking for all of us here. Can you imagine if I was to read the report? Say it with your chest. Okay, that's all I'm saying. Marilyn Upchurch, friend of the show.
More groups.
No government, federal, state, or local has ever compiled an account of what he did in New Mexico. There are some court records that tell pieces of the story in other states' cases for other states' victims, but there has never been an official narrative for New Mexico. This report is the first.
In June, the commission issued more than 20 subpoenas, hoping to uncover details of potential sexual abuse, trafficking, and other crimes tied to Epstein and his former Zorro ranch in Stanley, New Mexico. Those subpoenas include banks, federal agencies, as well as state and county offices. Today, the commission says 11 were met with full compliance by the deadline. The commission issued more subpoenas today, including to the New Mexico Departments of Workforce Solutions, Public Safety, and Taxation and Revenue, along with the 10,000 Wave Spa in Santa Fe, to help them find out more about what happened at the Zorro Ranch and bring justice to survivors.
Let there be no mistake, I use this survivor platform to stand on the right side of every survivor's journey toward truth and justice. I am holding on to faith that real accountability will be achieved.
At the next legislative session, the commission wants to make changes to the state's human trafficking statute. They also want to close what they say are registration loopholes for sex offenders. The report is available to the public at the Truth Commission's website. Back to you.
Okay. Well, let's read a little bit more about this, shall we? New Mexico sues the DOJ and Todd Blanche, alleging they blocked Epstein probe. The lawsuit was filed the day New Mexico is releasing. The New Mexico is releasing a report of its preliminary findings from an ongoing probe into Epstein and his ranch in Stanley. Let's read more here. So this is from Cedar Crest, New Mexico. A New Mexico attorney general sued the U.S. Department of Justice on Wednesday, accusing it of blocking the state from investigating sex crimes at Jeffrey Epstein's sprawling ranch near Santa Fe. A lawsuit in federal court in Washington, D.C. said the department and acting attorney general Todd Blanche, Trump's personal attorney before he took office, worth mentioning, stonewalled New Mexico Attorney General Raul Torres's criminal investigation into Epstein and others, taking steps that, quote, actively harms victims and undermines the public interest. Direct quote. And I would have to agree with that, to be honest with you. The lawsuit seeking judicial intervention to force the federal government to turn over materials to New Mexico's investigators was filed the same day that the state released a report saying, quote, those directly responsible for protecting New Mexicans relied on others to do their job, including federal prosecutors in New York. Also, I understand that, I've never actually heard the word New Mexicans. Obviously, somebody from New Mexico would be a New Mexican. It's just a new Mexican. I'm sorry. I've actually just never heard that put to that term before. Anyway, the federal prosecutors, though, never prioritized New Mexicans' focus, instead on Epstein's misdeeds in New York, Palm Beach, Florida, and the Virgin Islands, while leaving Epstein's offenses in New Mexico unexamined. I wonder why that is. And for those answers, Cult of Conspiracy Podcast is where you would go. Meanwhile, according to the Washington lawsuit, Torres and his senior prosecutors have faced sustained resistance to the kind of information sharing that had occurred in the past between state and federal investigators. In a statement, the Justice Department said it was not releasing some information the state requested because federal court orders ban disclosing victim-identifying information carte blanche, and New Mexico has provided no lawful basis to justify such sweeping disclosures. I have a feeling they have. But it said protecting victim privacy remains a top priority, though the Justice Department remains available to assist New Mexico's investigation consistent with the law and binding court orders. It's not about protecting the victims. It's never been about protecting the victims. If it was, you would have released all of the pertinent information and redacted just the victims' names. But anyway, Torres, in an interview with NBC News' Haley Jackson, accused the Justice Department of hiding behind the Epstein survivors. Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. We have provided them with ample legal justifications for releasing the files, Torres says. Like I said, I had a feeling that he did. The lawsuit said the Justice Department and Blanche were hiding information about Epstein and his co-conspirators when New Mexico is one of the few jurisdictions that may still be able to hold Epstein's associates accountable or, quote, provide some sense of justice to survivors. mostly because they're not going to get justice from anywhere else, which I would agree again. In a video conference call with reporters, Torres said his office had made 10 separate requests for key information and has been ignored or denied. We have heard repeatedly that they will cooperate, and what our team has experienced is anything but cooperation. Todd Blanche today, with a stroke of a pen, could grant us the access he claimed. Instead, they have decided to stonewall, to obstruct, and to frankly conceal for whatever reason. For whatever reason. That's a load-bearing portion of that sentence right there, for whatever reason. The lawsuit references a Justice Department prosecution memo that describes a sexual assault at Zorro Ranch by a woman who was not Epstein's former girlfriend and close associate, Ghislaine Maxwell. Wow. Asked on Haley Jackson Now whether Torres believes there is another woman who facilitated assaults in a similar way to Maxwell, he said, "The truth is we don't know at this point." He also added that having access to all the files would put them in a better position to seek the answer to that and other questions. Yeah, we know the whole official narrative. They took his own life, blah, blah. He didn't. Maxwell is serving a 20-year prison sentence after she was convicted. I don't actually think that's her. Hot take. I don't think that's Maxwell. I think it's a body double. Be honest. She's barely talking to anybody on the inside, even like with other prisoners. Like whoever's in there right now doesn't speak pretty much. Anyway, not going into the conspiratorial route. Got a whole other show for that. Epstein purchased a sprawling estate in Stanley, New Mexico, a sparsely populated ranch community of about 30 miles south of Santa Fe in '93 from former Democratic Governor Bruce King, and built a hilltop mansion with a private airstrip and helipad. The property was sold by the Epstein estate in 2023 to the family of Don Huffines, I don't know, a Republican who was recently appointed state comptroller. Comptroller? The hell is that position?
Comptroller.
What is that supposed to be, a comptroller?
I know it's a military term.
Really?
I'll get back to you on a second, because when I was in the military, they have comptrollers.
Is it like, when I thought, my brain immediately went to like constable. Oh Lord, I got multiple sounds going on.
It's be quiet.
What? Go ahead, Tony. What's a comptroller?
It's funding. It's like what I used to do. Was project manager, and I'd have to fund certain aspects of it, and some of it came from different pockets of money from the government, and the comptroller's the one that controlled those pockets of money and where they came from.
Okay, so like acquisitions type position, or like is it like a estimator?
A state comptroller. Sorry.
What?
So this says a state comptroller oversees state finances, audits government agencies, and ensures public money is spent properly.
An auditor.
Yeah, basically.
Interesting. So at a state level, so the Don Huffines, whatever, who bought Zorro Ranch, just got appointed as the state auditor for the state government of Texas. Well, that's interesting. Okay, put that one in the tool belt to use for later, I'm sure. In a February social media post on X, Huffines, I don't know the name, whatever, said the property has been renamed to San Rafael Ranch after a saint associated with healing, and that his family plans to operate a Christian retreat there. Okay, I like the initiative. Perhaps not the right location. Perhaps is the location to like open source and let whatever investigation needs to happen there, dig up everybody, all the stuff. And then once it's all done, years from now, we torch the place and then rebuild on top of it and turn it into some sort of a retreat ground. I don't know. That's just me. I don't know. In December, the Justice Department started releasing investigative records pertaining to Epstein and Maxwell in accordance with Epstein File Transparency Act. Yeah, okay. Complaints quickly arose about the shoddy redactions and too many sealed materials from accusers. Okay, they're just going to go into the whole thing about the Epstein. But anyway, that's the update as far as the Zorro Ranch is concerned. New Mexico is suing the DOJ and specifically Todd Blanche, which I got to be honest, I don't dislike Todd Blanche, but I also really don't like him. He's in a weird gray area, but if I had to like, make a judgment call, I would say I don't trust the dude at all. Never mind the fact that it was because he was Trump's lawyer, like, for years, and then just kind of schmoozed his way into this position. There's something about the dude, you know? He gives me the ick. I don't know, maybe I'm wrong, and maybe he will, like, really blow the lid off of this whole thing and lead the DOJ to give us the answers we are looking for. And if that's the case, I will be so happy to take back that statement. For where I'm at right now, I ain't got nothing for the man. He just seems slimy. He seems real slimy. Anyway, moving forward here, the U.S. announces more than $100 million in rewards to 8 Jalisco cartel leaders. Yeah, so apparently if you're out there listening to the Cajun Night, and you might just want to get you a couple, get you some stacks. You want to level up your finances. What you could do is track down one of these cartel leaders and, bring them in. I'm not sure if it's a dead or alive type of situation, I would assume, but apparently they are announcing more than $100 million in rewards for these dudes. One of them, I see one right here, 25 mil. That's nice. That'd be a nice little, I could find a spot in my budget for that. Go ahead, Sam. I see your hand raised. I think we're past the time constraints. You go ahead.
First off, I'm a saint. And second off, where can I sign up? Because I definitely would like to be trekking down in the jungle in Latin America, tagging and bagging cartel leaders like our forefather Teddy Roosevelt would want. And
I think you can just do it. I don't think you have to sign up. I think you could just go do it.
So with that being said, do I have to smuggle my weapons down to the border, or can I procure weapons down at the border?
You seem like a resourceful gentleman. I'm sure you could figure it out. One or the other. I guess it's 6 in one hand, half dozen in the other. But keep in mind, you will be going against the entire, I'm sure I'm butchering the name. It's probably Jalisco, not Jalisco. But you're going to be going against an entire cartel. So, do you? But remember, Trump listed all cartels as terrorist organizations. So, I guess you just can do what you do. Worth mentioning.
And since I am not in a uniform held up by the UCMJ, nor am I a uniformed member anymore, the Geneva Conventions do not ascertain me.
No, but you also need to know that no one's coming to get you if things go sideways. That's also really important.
If things go sideways, at least then I am going on my own personal crusade. At least then I'll be doing the Lord's work.
It's so funny that you mention a crusade, because the CJNG call themselves the Templars. It's really funny that you're bringing that one up, because these dudes rock the Templar cross, but they're cartel members. But yeah,
so we call those heretics. This is about to be like the Horus Heresy. Damn it!
I suppose. I guess you bring whatever fire to the conversation you want, man. Continuing on, this is from Al Jazeera. The administration of the United States, President Trump, has announced it will offer up to $102 million in rewards for information leading to the arrest or conviction of leaders from the Jalisco New Generation Cartel, also known as the CJNG, a criminal organization based in Mexico. On Wednesday, Acting Attorney General Todd Blanche led a news conference touting the new bounties as, quote, a continuation of our efforts to eliminate cartels that have plagued the U.S. for far too long. Well, okay, then. These sophisticated organizations use violence and fear to maintain control over importation of deadly narcotics into the United States, including fentanyl, cocaine, meth, and other illegal drugs. Well, yeah. Their actions spread violence and death to our communities. Again, yeah. Blanche's rhetoric echoed the broader approach of the Trump administration, which has increasingly made combating cartels a centerpiece of its national security agenda. Rightfully so. I know it's not exactly a crazy concept here, but for instance, the whole situation in Iran. We can argue back and forth if Iran was actually an imminent threat to the United States or not. Have your opinion, whatever. China, an imminent threat to the United States or not. This is a debatable topic, right? There's some that's going to say yay, some that's going to say nay. I'm pretty confident that everybody could agree that the cartel members has always been and will always be an actual pressing threat to our border and to our national security as a whole. I don't think that's actually a hot take. I'm pretty confident that everybody, regardless of political agendas or religious backgrounds or whatever, I'm pretty sure we could all agree, like, yeah, that's a problem. But anyway, since taking office for a second term, Trump has pushed his government to relabel criminal organizations in Latin America as foreign terrorist organizations. I mentioned that a moment ago. The administration has used such labels to justify military action against suspected drug smugglers, including a year-long bombing campaign against small boats in the Caribbean Sea and Eastern Pacific. Dude, I was so bummed. They almost gave the letters of the letters of marque. They almost gave those out to people. And then the last second, they're like, no, fine, we're not going to make piracy okay. It's good. Dude. But you understand why that is, though. It's not because there was going to be a bunch of rednecks on speedboats just doming cartel members on like those semi-submersibles. It wasn't that reason. It's because those rednecks, whenever they get a semi-submersible full of 10 tons of cocaine, are somehow just going to come back with no coke. Somehow it all got lost. It's the damnedest thing. It was a really good initiative, but it would have led to some really bad judgment calls. I think we can all acknowledge this. Narco-terrorist organizations like the cartel or CJNG are responsible for countless deaths in America, Blanche said on Wednesday. Of course, CJNG is one of at least 8 Mexican criminal networks to be labeled foreign terrorist organizations, alongside groups like the Sinaloa cartel and the Cartel de Noreste. Go ahead, Sam.
Oh, I thought I took it down, but no, I was just gonna say, sir, that if it is government backed, that you're not a pirate, you're a privateer. There is difference, goddammit.
You're right.
Put the respect on the privateers.
You're correct. I said government-sponsored piracy. No. You're right. Privacy.
It's privateers.
Yeah.
You have the privateers and you have the pirates, which, funny enough, most of the most notable pirates actually started out as privateers.
Yeah, it's very true. And then whenever the letters of marque stopped being valid, they were like, well, I guess we're outlaws now, whatever.
Well, it was more of like when the kings wouldn't pay them the way that they were supposed to be paid and everything. They said, well, fuck it. Plus, the privateers, they were also being told, like, hey, look, you can't attack any British or any Allied ships, but yeah, you see that Spaniard ship? You see that their Frenchy ship? I don't want to see those ships anymore.
Yeah, it was the golden age of piracy. But again, they were contemplating releasing those to American citizens. That would have been phenomenal. It didn't happen, but it's fine. They did bomb the hell out of them for a while. It led to Maduro getting captured. They've been putting in their work. The CJNG operates in 21 of Mexico's 32 states and is said to be involved in everything from avocado production to drug smuggling. Yeah, believe it or not, avocados. The cartels have taken over avocado growth and distribution because they see the profit margins in it. And it was like genuinely, the cartel, here's the deal. They're about making money, whether that's drugs, guns, people, whatever. If it makes money, they're going to be about it in some way. Hell, even to that point, the Yakuza, another illegal organized crime outfit based out of Japan, they got wrapped up for stealing like Labubus and counterfeit Pokemon cards because of the amount of money that was in them. Like, if it's going to make money, it doesn't matter. The criminal enterprise is going to be about it and not care about what the legality of it is. You know what I mean? Avocados. There is a pretty solid chance that if you're buying an avocado from your local produce stand or Walmart or whatever, it's very possible that came from a cartel source. Just so you know, you do with that information what you want. I personally think that they are a weird, it's a fruit technically, huh? Anyway, the largest reward in Wednesday's announcements was offered for information leading to the capture of the new leader, Juan Carlos Gonzalez, also known as Pelon. Pelon? I don't know how to speak Spanish. Gonzalez, a dual Mexican and U.S. citizen, interesting, is believed to have taken control of the cartel after the death of its former leader, Cervantes. I'm not going to try to pronounce that first word. Also known as El Mincho. I know that one. I know that guy. Gonzalez is his stepson. Okay, interesting enough. His reward was raised by $20 million to reach a total of $25 million. Bounties for 7 other leaders range from $2 million to $15 million. Damn. I mean, if somebody's got the stones to get out there and try to make it happen, the money is there, y'all. The money is out there just waiting for you to come and take it. You know what I'm saying? Anyway. Now, with all of these things going on everywhere, we also need to make a mention of what's going on in the Pacific Northwest right now. There is a massive fire. This one's just talking about the Spokane fire complex, but here in a moment, I'm going to show you a map. Like, dude, the fires are all over. But let's learn about this one together, y'all.
Hundreds of firefighters remain on fire lines tonight, working to get control of these Spokane area fires. We're hearing from fire officials about today's outlook. Savannah Welch brings us more tonight.
There's been a lot of good progress in the last 24 hours. Crews say they were able to get control lines established around all 3 fires here. And there's been such an outpouring of support from the community to help fire crews. There's been a lot of donations. You can see all the cases of water over there and coolers. Also sports drinks, electrolytes for firefighters on the table over to the right. There's a lot of essential items, some deodorant, even shaving cream for crews. So a lot of resources here for firefighters on the front lines here working these fires. I spoke with one volunteer who's helping supply fire crews with new boots. I talked to him this morning. Take a listen.
These firefighters came from all over the nation and they're here working, and the work is not over. It's going to be a long haul. And so the local companies here and all just the regular community, we're stepping up because this is our home front.
Firefighters have been working 12-hour shifts as they continue to battle these 3 fires. We also have new containment numbers as of Wednesday morning. Both the Autumn Lane fire and Old Trails fire are 13% contained. The Fairview fire is 5% contained. Crews have come from across the country, from Utah, California, even Alaska, Arizona, and New York. They say the community really stepped up at a time when firefighters needed it most.
This incident it happened so fast and it developed so quickly, and there's so many other fires burning throughout the U.S. that some of our support we'd usually have is on delay. So the community really stepped up and offered their services, and we were so grateful for it.
Many firefighters have been sleeping in tents here at Mount Spokane High School. More firefighters and resources are expected to be mobilized here to Spokane. The number of firefighters is expected to grow to more than 2,000 this week. And this morning we saw quite a few of them packing up their tents here and relocating to the fairgrounds. So a lot of at least good news there when it comes to containment efforts as of Wednesday morning.
Wow. Shouts out to the firefighters from all over. 23 different states have descended on this area to help them out. Shouts out to them. Thoughts and prayers. And also, if y'all have the means to help in any way that you can, I don't know where everybody's located, but do what you can, absolutely. So now, let's get a visualization of the wildfires in Washington and Oregon in maps and satellite imagery. Sorry, I don't know what the hell just happened. The American West is battling a persistent wildfire season, with the Pacific Northwest bearing the brunt as dozens of massive blazes rage in Oregon and Washington, forcing residents from their homes and shutting down major roadways. More than 27,000 firefighters are battling around about 100 uncontained large fires nationwide on Tuesday. So this is the map, y'all. This is the map of the United States. And just in the Pacific Northwest, yes, we have wildfires all over the place. I get that. But, dude, we got a couple in Florida, a couple on the East Coast that seem to be all but contained here. North Texas and Oklahoma has some. New Mexico, Arizona area, Colorado, Nevada, no doubt. All those things are facts. However, the Pacific Northwest has, they've been getting screwed. There's no other way to say this. And then they have caught arsonists who have been the ones lighting these fires, or at least helping them grow larger. Like, dude, I didn't fully understand until I went to Oregon and saw these things. Yo, the arsonists, they deserve a fate worse than death. I'm quite confident in saying that, by the way. It is absolutely disgusting what these people are doing. This year's fire season is shaping up to be quite destructive. Oregon and Washington have been hit by their worst fire season in more than 30 years, with flames burning more than 2.6 million acres as of Tuesday. All right. That's more than the state of Texas, if I'm not mistaken. Like, Texas is like over 1 million acre. I'm thinking miles. Excuse me. Texas is 1 million square miles. I'm getting miles and acres confused. Excuse me. Pacific Northwest is having a record wildfire season. Right here, we could see the chart. 2005, we had, 210. This is 210,000 acres burned. 2010, we had 152,000 acres. It's going up. The lowest year that we've had in a good while was 2019, 249,000 acres. We are currently at 2.6 million acres. That is this is the record high that we've seen, like they said, in 30 years. Wildfires have scorched at least 5.3 million acres across the country so far this year, already surpassing last year's total for the entire year. Good God. With nearly half the nation's active large fires concentrated in Oregon and Washington, CNN is tracking the latest maps, charts, and satellite imagery. 3 fires in Spokane County have consumed more than 8,000 acres with 0% containment since they started Saturday. They're still going ham. Jesus. The fires in the Pacific Northwest have blanketed the region with smoke, pushing the air quality index to unhealthy levels across Washington, especially for residents who are sensitive to particulate pollution, At least 24 cities in the region had air quality readings in the very unhealthy or unhealthy range as of Tuesday morning. This map shows how the smoke is expected to spread over the next day. Look at this. The smoke is going to go all the way into the Midwest and come back up into Canada, which Canada's got their own. I don't even know if that wildfire is contained in Canada or not, to be honest with you. I haven't heard much about it, so I'm assuming they got it under control, but I don't actually know that for a fact. But anyway, aerial images captured a near map show of the Old Trails fire sweeping through neighborhoods in Spokane County on Saturday afternoon, captured around 7 hours after the fire began. They show hundreds of burning homes and firefighters trying to halt the spread of the blaze. Look at this. So this is on the left on screen right now is before, and then on the right is the after, and just complete loss, complete devastation. Through heavy plumes of smoke, the fire can be seen spreading from house to house, leaving entire blocks burning. In spite of the blaze, green leaves can still be seen on many of the trees. The ground below them, where the fire quickly spread through grass and small vegetation, is charred black. It's absolute mind-blowing. For me, it's very hard to conceptualize because I live in a place that's constantly wet. So to hear how quick one of these fires can just take off and go like that, it never really made sense to me until, you know what I mean? And again, to all the listeners of the Cajun Night, to all the members of the retinue, right? If you're ever in a position like go through a national forest that has ever been, the forest being the victim of an arsonist or something like this, take a moment and take that drive and gain some perspective. If you don't know what I'm talking about, you'll understand when you see it, honestly. It is absolutely mind-blowing. Absolutely mind-blowing. All of our thoughts and prayers and efforts are with the people that are suffering from these wildfires all over the country. All right, on to the next topic we go. So now we're going to talk about the situation where we talked about the Trump getting onto the helicopter, gotten onto the plane. He goes to his golf course in South Cali, only to have another assassination attempt. And I got to be honest, I was a little perplexed by this one. The guy claimed to be a worker with the State Department, and he had to get in touch with Marco Rubio. Secret Service wasn't going to let him in because he didn't have the right credentials, obviously. And so they stopped him. They searched him. They found a gun. Come to find out, he's a Marine Corps veteran. He deployed to Iraq and Afghanistan. He allegedly has been suffering from crazy PTSD. Let's just learn about this one together, y'all.
Tonight, new details about the man facing firearms charges following an alarming security scare outside President Trump's golf club near Los Angeles. Police arresting 39-year-old Janine John Teal over the weekend ahead of the president's visit after federal agents noted him appearing to take photos and videos of the club. Charging documents say a search of his car turned up a pistol and high-capacity magazine, and at his home, an assault rifle, body armor, and notebooks containing, quote, concerning statement.
Real quick. They didn't find an assault rifle at his home. They found an AR. AR stands for Armalite rifle, not assault rifle. There is, in fact, such a thing as an assault rifle. by definition, is a weapon that is fully auto, i.e. a belt fed or something like this. The weapon they found was not an assault rifle, but let's continue.
Tonight, a law enforcement official telling NBC News Teal is a disabled Marine veteran with significant PTSD and mental health issues. President Trump was asked about the arrest.
Well, the only thing I get a little solace from is they say only consequential presidents. And I am definitely consequential.
It comes after a disturbing series of assassination attempts against President Trump, including an armed suspect racing through a security checkpoint at the White House Correspondents' Dinner, a suspect arrested after hiding with a rifle while the president was golfing, and the campaign event in Butler where the president was shot. And tonight, new concerns after a close encounter between Marine One and a commercial airliner. You can see the American Airlines jet taking off. Moments later, the Marine choppers, one of them carrying the president. The FAA calling this a, quote, momentary loss of separation, saying it will review the incident, but that the president was never in any danger.
Garrett joins us now. Garrett, let's go back to that security scare for the president in California. I know you have some new reporting on that suspect.
Yeah, Tom, his first court appearance has yet to be scheduled, but his military record today shows 8 years of service in the Marines, including deployments to both Iraq and Afghanistan. Tom?
We thank you.
So, all right. It's not great. It's not a great look. The last time a Marine set to, assassinate a president, allegedly he was successful, and I am talking about Lee Harvey Oswald with old JFK. But, it's not good. It's not good. However, I think it's wild. Like, Trump really does have, ops out there. Like, they got some shooters in these streets that are after him right now, these streets, if you will. And it's pretty crazy. Could you imagine a world? Now, granted, when I make this comparison, I understand that it's a bit contrived. But could you imagine if Biden had, shooters after him like this? Or Obama? Or Bush? You know what I mean? It's crazy, but also I understand we're making apples to oranges comparisons here. Trump is very much of a different mindset than his predecessors, regardless of, political party affiliations or anything like that. But it's still crazy, dude. All this has been going on within, 2-year time span, give or take. It's on the cult of conspiracy. We have that bingo card and we haven't looked at it in a little minute. We may need to review it again. I'm putting a pin in that one for later on. But anyway, this is from LA. More details emerging on Janine, which is a very unfortunate name for a man, but okay. Janine Teal, I don't know, who was arrested after authorities say he was armed near where the president was set to speak in Rancho Palos Verde. Teal, 38, was initially detained at Trump's National Golf Course in L.A. after he was seen taking photos and videos. Continuing, the arrest occurred over the weekend. The Department of Justice said in a statement, an affidavit filed with the complaint against Teal indicates that on July 31st, federal agents were conducting a security assessment of the golf course when they saw, quote, a suspicious individual walking through the golf course, taking photos and filming videos of security planning activities while wearing an earpiece. Teal returned to Trump's golf course on August 2nd, and this time the staff of the golf course notified the federal agents who were actually approached by him. He stated he was employed by the State Department and that he was there as part of the security detail. During the interaction, he admitted to having a loaded firearm in the car. So his plan, which is a ballsy move, no matter how you want to slice it, it's a ballsy move to walk up and just act like you're one of the security detail. Not knowing, they would have to ask, oh, well, who's your superior? Who's the one that sent you here? Something. You would have to have a name to give them. You have to just make it through the first round of scrutiny. And in the midst of all this, he's like, oh, yeah, I'm here as a part of the security detail from the state. All right. So, yeah, I got my gun in the car. Don't worry about it. Anyway, so just tell me where I'm posted. What are we doing? It's that is... You got to have some stones on you to try to have that much confidence to pull that off. Obviously, it didn't work, but I'm just saying, Anyway, in turn, Federal agents reached out to LA County Sheriff's Department. The deputies were dispatched to the area. He was detained, and the deputies found a 16-round magazine with hollow point ammunition in his pants pocket. Also, they keep using the term, and I don't know for sure, but just going off of this here, they keep using the term high-capacity magazine. Now, I'm not sure what the English language means in California, but I know like in Louisiana for like a high-capacity magazine, you're talking like a 50-round drum, or maybe like a 100-round drum, a C-mag, if you will. Or if it's an AK, like one of those 75-round drums you got to like actually twist, whatever. So when they say a high-capacity magazine, is this 16-round magazine what they were referring to? Because I think California, you're not allowed to have more than like 5 or 10 in a mag. I'm throwing it out. I don't know. I'm saying we need to be careful with our verbiage. Further investigation revealed that Downey resident was wanted in connection with a 2025 robbery in El Segundo, details of which were not immediately disclosed. I mean, okay, so he at least like developed a life of crime. He got away with at least one robbery, and then he just got a taste for the magic, decided he wanted to go up to assassinating the leader of the free world, as one does, as one does, obviously. Authorities then searched his pickup truck and seized a loaded 9mm pistol, a pair of binoculars, and a badge that read Security Protection Agent. That's the most Temu Wish.com badge. Security Protection Agent. Bro, that's not a title. That's not a thing. Oh my God. That's 10 out of 10 on the effort. And honestly, I'm starting to see the Marine show on this actually. Yeah. Out loud. I see it. The next day, August 3rd, my birthday. How about that? Teal's home was searched and more weapons were seized, including an illegally modified AR platform rifle. Okay. And once again, by what means do we mean illegally modified? Because California's got some weird rules as far as what type of AR you could have or what kind of modifications you could do to it. Like it's got to be California compliant. So that doesn't necessarily mean what people might initially think, but it's worth mentioning. All right. Body armor. That doesn't say to what level. Could be soft armor. We don't know. Doesn't mean plates, right? High capacity magazines. We don't know what the capacity is. An earpiece. Diabolical. A two-way radio signal device and multiple notebooks containing concerning statements were also found, the DOJ said. Well, clearly, you think he's like living a happy, joy life and just woke up and decided to try to take a shot? Like, no, obviously he's got some screws loose. Of course his notebooks are going to contain concerning statements. Actually, oddly enough, with the line of work that I'm in, dude, all the notebooks that I have just full of notes for all the episodes that we've done. If I was ever get raided, I'm wondering what they would say about my notebooks. None of them have been anti-American or anything like disturbing, but also sometimes the content we talk about on the Cult of Conspiracy is not the cleanest, So I'm actually kind of curious what they would say about my notebooks. How interesting to ponder. Moving on. He has now been federally charged with possession of an unregistered short barrel rifle, which is a felony that could carry a sentence of up to a decade in federal prison. That's what they got him on. They got him for having an SBR, an illegal or an unregistered SBR in California. This is America. He also faces criminal charges in LA Superior Court stemming from the same investigation, federal officials added. He is expected, to make his first court appearance on Wednesday, but a spokesperson later confirmed he would not be making an appearance. He is being held on a $250,000 bail. Wow. Look at this. Oh, no. Is that his badge? Oh, please tell me. Agent. This is a fugitive recovery bail. This is a bail bondsman. Like this is a bounty hunter badge. Is that his badge? What? There's no way. They said that it was like a security agent badge. This doesn't even say security on it. So either A, this picture is not his badge, or B, the article source of KTLA News is lying. I don't know which one, but all right. Dude, if he was a bail bondsman that then decided to stick up a liquor store and then try to assassinate the president, like, the character arc on this dude is out of control. This is crazy work, y'all. That's all I'm saying. Anyway, while we are still investigating the motives of this individual, we are thankful he was apprehended before the president's visit. Federal and local law enforcement stepped in early and prevented what could have been a dangerous situation from occurring. This investigation remains ongoing. Yeah, I'll bet it does, dude. Is there a description of this? Okay, hold on. Items recovered at the home of Tail. Look at this, dude. So his badge, and I don't know if this is his badge. Maybe he wasn't the bounty hunter or whatever. But, dude, a bail enforcement officer, agent, whatever, that is, God, it's crazy work. And could you imagine him bringing that badge there and acting like he's like one of the security detail and just like flip the badge real quick and like put it back in his pocket? And they'd be like, whoa. What was that? What was that word? You said agent of what department? What is this? Like, oh my God, that's horrible. Leading the probe into Teal are FBI, Secret Service, the ATF. The three agencies are being assisted by LASD with the investigation. His Trump's visit to SoCal was his second since returning to office. His first was in January 2025 to survey damage caused by the wildfires. Yeah, I remember when he went there and called out Gavin Newsom basically on his home turf. It was great. Go ahead, Sam.
It's funny. It kind of before you say it was a bail bondsman, dog bounty hunter. I was thinking, wait, you tell me Paul Blart, fucking rent a cop tried to do this, but yeah, he's a Marine.
Dude,
I'm sorry.
There is. Oh God, I wish I could remember the name of the movie. There's a Seth Rogen movie from back in the day, and I think it's like what Paul Blart was based off of. He was like a mall cop. Him and like the other dudes that were working as mall security felt like they were real cops, and they were like gun nerds, and there was like all these things, and it was hilarious. Then you see Paul Blart, and it's in this guy, dude, a bail bondsman, or not, I keep using that term, excuse me, a bounty hunter, a bond enforcement agent. That was the badge. And it's crazy work.
So he's pretty much he's a winter version of Dog the Bounty Hunter. He's even Dog the Bounty Hunter kind of made the bail bondsman even more of a joke than they already are. If we're gonna have bounty hunters, let them be the Wild West type. Fuck it, shoot first ass questions there.
Well, I mean, remember, Dog got arrested at one point. I forget what it was for. It wasn't drug charges. I think it was because he went out of state or did something illegal to get his guy or whatever. I forget, but I don't know. I mean, maybe I'm just looking at this all wrong, and maybe bounty hunters, like, guns get wild. I don't know, but it's really crazy, this dude. And now on top of that, they're saying he's like mentally disturbed, at least 2 deployments to 2 different combat zones, PTSD, all these things. Like, I have no idea about his service record. I don't know if he was a grunt. I don't know if he was a supply guy who never saw combat. Like, I have no idea about him. But what I will say is, like, it's still ballsy for you to just kind of try to blend in and act like these people weren't going to know that you weren't a part of the clique.
That, and what baffles me is the fact that he at 18, 19 on average, he would have been, more than likely he would have raised his right hand and swore an oath to the Constitution.
Oh, yeah.
I feel like they should also charge him with treason. He allegedly tried to kill the president, but I
mean, he's been out for a while. Like, even if he would have joined at 20, he would have gotten out at 28. He's 38 now. His time of service is up.
Yes, but that oath never goes away. That's a lifelong oath. Correct.
I know a lot of criminals that are veterans, dude. Whatever you say.
I mean, whether you're a criminal, it doesn't matter. It's when you make an oath, that shit's for life. Like, I'll protect my country from both enemies, both foreign and domestic.
I mean, I hear you. I would think it should be, but like,
I treat it as lifelong. Fuck it. They want to ride, that's why I clad.
Well, this dude decided to ride out and got caught. So we'll see if he actually, because he's not facing charges of attempted assassination because he didn't, right? He tried to, I guess you could say, impersonate an officer or an agent.
That's a felony.
It is, but they're not even charging him for that. They're charging him for an illegal SBR in Cali. That's it.
He got very fucking lucky then, because they could have got him with not just a page of the book, but the whole fucking volume of books.
If they wouldn't have caught him early enough, yeah, very well could have. And I don't know. I don't know what's going to shake out of this. I really do want to keep up with this story with old Teal. I don't know how to pronounce his name. It's a weird one. Janine. And see what they actually end up doing. Does he serve time? Is it a big slap on the wrist? You know what I mean? I don't know. We're gonna keep our eyes on that one moving forward into the future here. But anyway,
the fact his name is Janine, it tells you everything you need to know. His parents fucking hated him.
I can't tell if that's a Hispanic name or not, dude, but some Hispanic families name their kids like female names, but it's like not female in that culture. My one of my instructors named Padilla, right? But his first name was Alexis, not Alex. He didn't go by his name was Alexis. And I'm like, really? And like apparently in Puerto Rico, that is a male name. In Africa, they got other, like Precious is a boy's name in Congo. Like it's a very normal masculine name, Precious. And it's like, all right. Cultural differences, man.
If you say so. Thank God that my name is Samuel.
Yeah, it's a solid, tried and true name. You know what I mean? All right, let's get to this next one here. The new CDC director has been confirmed, giving the agency its first permanent leader in a year. So, all right, members of the retinue, y'all know how I feel about the CDC, about the same way I feel about the World Health Organization, right? I'm not even making a comment towards the pandemic. No, I'm not even going that route with it. Okay, it's a government entity that's trying to tell us how to do things that it doesn't know how to do. That's how I feel about it, which I find to be just laughable. However, I have hopes for this new director. The reason why is because of the positions that she has held up until this point. Now, I understand there's some politicking that goes into this, but I'm not saying like, oh, she's going to do great. I'm saying I am hopeful that she will actually do good for the job. So let's talk about it here. The Senate voted in favor of Dr. Erica Schwartz, who was Deputy Surgeon General during President Donald Trump's first term. You see what I'm saying? This ain't no like scrub, no friend of a friend in the DC space. Like, no, she actually like has worked in the medical field. As a matter of fact, let's talk more about it here. So, confirmed, Dr. Erica Schwartz to lead the Centers for Disease Control and Prevention, making her the health agency's first permanent director in roughly a year. The vote was 51-44 and was largely split along party lines, obviously, with Republicans in favor and Democrats against. I feel like that's an important little thing to mention here. Though Senator Tim Kaine, Democrat from Virginia, voted with Republicans. Kaine said last month that he regretted voting against the previous CDC director, Susan Monarez, and has apologized to her. Schwartz has served as Deputy Surgeon General during President Trump's first term. Before that, she was a Navy physician and Chief Medical Officer in the Coast Guard. Like, she was the top dog for all Coast Guard medical. Now, I understand that people are going to feel some type of way about that, but my point is she's actually worked in the field to know what she's talking about as far as medicine is concerned. That's what I mean. And I find that to at least be something in her favor. A series of acting directors have led the CDC since August 25. Health Secretary RFK Jr. fired Monarez after 29 days in the role. Yeah, RFK's been on one, dude. I love it. Schwartz takes over from I'm not going to try to pronounce that name, something Indian, who has helmed the agency since February while also directing the National Institute of Health. Federal law required the Trump administration to nominate a permanent director in March, but Schwartz's nomination came a month after the deadline. As CDC director, Schwartz will oversee the country's public health response, including approving vaccine recommendations and helping contain disease outbreaks. She will inherit a measles crisis. I would hardly call what the United States is seeing right now as a measles crisis, judging from what America had with measles only a few decades ago. But okay. And a growing outbreak of cyclosporiasis, a parasitic infection. Oh, that's the yeah. Okay. I didn't know that was the actual technical name for it. The parasite that's been making people just like blow it up when they hit the toilet, and it's Anyway, it's been linked to shredded iceberg lettuce. Okay. Schwartz will also have to contend with rising rates of vaccine hesitancy, good, which some experts say Kennedy's rhetoric and policies have exacerbated. I don't think RFK Jr. has had any effect on the vaccine conversation. I believe that it's been the past 6 years of the government that has given people hesitancy towards vaccines, actually. And I'm not even saying an administration, because let's not forget it was Trump that approved Operation Warp Speed. So like I'm putting it on both administrations, both political parties, all of that, just throwing it out. Pretty sure the public has decided that they don't trust him these days, but okay. Though Schwartz was widely seen and as a conventional pick for CDC director, some public health experts said she didn't do enough at Senate hearings last month to distance herself from some of Kennedy's more controversial stances. Is it really that controversial? If it's true. Schwartz said at the hearing, for example, that vaccines are safe and effective, but she said she was unaware of some of Kennedy's vaccine policy changes and dodged questions about whether she supported them. Yeah, that's called politicking, dude. You plead the fifth. Senator Bill Cassidy, Republican from Louisiana, who chairs the Health, Education, Labor, and Pensions Committee, is a doctor, accused Schwartz during her appearance of evading answers to his questions about whether she would challenge Kennedy if he tried to undermine science. We need a CDC director that will actually stand up to crazy, stupid things being said that undermine faith in immunization. Cassidy said that. Cassidy also agreed to support Schwartz's nomination last month. He said after speaking with her again and talking to those, quote, who served with her and know her well, I am confident that she knows what she is doing and will stand against those that do not. Okay, there you go. So we have a new CDC director. And to be completely honest with you, I, again, am hopeful. I'm not saying this is confirmed going to fix anything and, it's going to be on the up and up. I don't know. I'm hopeful. And right now, a little bit of hope goes a long way for us, So moving on to the next thing. Europe's heat wave fuels drought, wildfires, and fears about energy supplies. Okay, y'all. Okay. This is from NPR. We're not going to read the whole thing. NPR is notoriously long-winded and notoriously psycho-liberal babble. But, okay. I understand and agree that the Earth is experiencing a heat wave right now. And before y'all go off on some silly shit about global warming, it's not what I'm talking about. That's not what I'm talking about. I am saying that, yes, it is true that this year it's a hot one. It's a scorcher. The part that I'm having a real issue with, okay, and this is specifically aimed at all of our European listeners and European, members of the retinue and cult members and everybody who's listening to this on the YouTube, whatever. I wish I could understand y'all's aversion to air conditioning. Yeah, all right. And what I mean by this, and I know people are going to hit me in the comments, I live in this European country and we have air conditioning. Okay, great. Hear me out. The majority of the continent not only doesn't have it, they actively and aggressively don't believe in it. There was an interview that was recently done. I think it was the BBC, as a matter of fact. It was a British woman. And this woman was, I'm gonna be kind and say that she was probably of a more liberal and or progressive mind. You do with that information what you want, okay? She gave like 3 things that she does to try to beat the heat. And I shit you not, you can look this up yourself. One of them was like laying under a wet blanket. That's a horrible idea in the heat. I don't know if you've ever tried this. That's really dumb. 2, sitting at her desk and working and putting her feet in a bucket of water. Okay, that might help, but like your feet will be comfortable, but the rest of you will be hot. And what are you going to do then? Number 3, and I swear on my children's lives, y'all, spread yogurt on your windows. Yeah. Can you fathom the mental hoops you have to jump through to get from, like, to hate air conditioning, a window unit, dog? I'm not even talking about a whole fucking HVAC system. I'm talking like a little window unit just shoved into your apartment window. You would rather smear yogurt, a dairy product that will curdle and will stink, all over your glass on your windows to block out the sun. Somebody make that make sense to me. And I know, I understand that Freon is bad for the environment. All right. Okay. I could agree with that. And I've worked in and around certain facilities that make the shit. Like, I get it. It is not good for the earth. Okay. What I am going to say is that y'all understand that the Freon, or whatever they're calling the new coolant that we're using now, is just as harmful as the shit they came out with in the 60s. They're not going to tell you that. But here's how this works. Okay. Every 20 years, give or take, the patent on whatever the new coolant is runs out. And it's really interesting that as soon as the patent runs out, it becomes illegal to use that because there's all these health concerns and it's so dangerous and blah, blah, blah. But don't worry, we've got this new one that's ready to go. And by the way, here's a law saying you could only use this one. And then they'll use that for about 20 years. And then, oh, patent ran out. But actually, it's illegal to use that now. And here's a bunch of experts saying how harmful it is to the environment. Hey, but don't worry. Don't worry. They've already developed a new one ready to go. They just cycle it through. The shit they're using right now for air conditioning is the same danger level as the shit they used to use. Although the newer shit doesn't work as well. I will be honest with you. I remember a time when there was actual frost on my air conditioning vents growing up. You're not going to get that probably ever again, to be honest with you. But y'all, at least some sort of central AC unit to help this situation. In England last year, y'all, before what we're even about to read about, 175,000 people died from heat casualties. And for the record, I know what you're about to say. No, the fucking pinnacle of heat that they're like losing their shit about in freedom units is 85 degrees. Yeah. So we had 175,000 people die last year from 85 degree weather. Can you imagine another situation anywhere, doesn't matter, a event that causes that much death at once? And I know it's probably mostly elderly people. It's probably whatever, but like, y'all understand that even hospitals don't have air conditioning there? Like, you have surgeons that are performing surgery and are sweating their balls off. And that's just how they do in Europe. Like, it's the mental hoops to jump through to make that some sort of like, environmental moral high horse to run on it's mind blowing to me. I don't actually understand how they get 1 + 1 = 4 on this. I don't see it. I don't. But okay, could y'all imagine, like I was saying, 175,000 people die for any other reason anywhere else? There would be campaigns, dude. There would be news coast to coast. There would be GoFundMes. There'd be a whole thing. There'd be marches to bring justice to these people and their families. But for this, it's like, oh, well, it's the heat. What are you going to do? You know, I don't know. Get a fucking window unit, dog. We're not asking for the moon and stars. You can buy them from a hardware store. But anyway, Sam, I see your hand. Go ahead.
I wonder if they're dying from 80 to 85 degree heat. I want to see what happens when they're in the southern heat at like 102 degrees with a humidity of 80.
Oh, bro, they finally experienced it, though, because for the first time ever, and I'm so happy. I'm so happy that the FIFA World Cup happened in Dallas. So hear me out. Hear me out.
That's a dry heat.
Hear me out. Dallas does get some real heat. Maybe not the same as like the level of humidity and heat that I get here in Louisiana or you. I get that, but they still experience some Texas heat. That's some real shit there. Okay. Especially for the Europeans that flew in and they're like, they have been talking so much shit, you dude, for years online. You have no idea the amount of shit that the Europeans have been talking about. Oh, well, you don't know how hot it gets here. Blah, blah, blah. And every person on the internet that sees these are like, dog, spend one single July day here or one single August day here, whatever. And for the first time in probably forever, we have massive amounts of Europeans coming to America during the summer when we had some real heat going on. And all of these dudes and females were putting up posts on social media like, y'all, no, they were not lying. We don't have heat like this back home. This is absurd. What the fuck? But the other side to that, they got to experience air conditioning. Like they really got to experience it. And now they realize like, oh my God, we've been lied to. The powers that be over whatever European nation we came from, they are actually suppressing the good news and the truth of air conditioning. And it's amazing. It's amazing. So I'm hoping that because the World Cup just happened and because of shit like this, Europe's heat wave is fueling a drought and wildfires and all this shit. I'm hoping that the people of Europe will actually start to take a stand against their oppressive governments and tell them, hey, fuck you, EU. We need some HVAC in our lives. I'm hoping.
Keep in mind, they got this whole new drug addiction, the Europeans, dude, due to American Ranch. They're smuggling that shit like it's kilos of cocaine.
Did you see that? The dude trying to smuggle like a gallon of ranch back, and they're like, dude, you could just buy the seasoning package. They're like, you could do the what? Like it was a whole thing. It was hilarious.
Like, they look more happier for the little tiny shot, like packets of fucking ranch than a crackhead on payday at 7 a.m.
It was, like, yeah. This was a cool World Cup, and I'm actually continuing that. The Olympics are about to be going down in California, which. That's gonna be an experience, especially because all the homeless people are about to like just not be there somehow during the entirety of the Olympics. It's gonna be wild.
So they're gonna get to experience their first fentanyl induced leans and gang shots. So
no, dude, it's the same thing. Gavin Newsom did this when Xi Jinping came to California, dude. You got to clean up your house when you have company over. Yeah, he bussed the homeless to Oakland.
Is that what he's saying, or do you think they did some eugenics type shit?
Gavin Newsom ain't got the balls to solve the problem. I'll put it like that. No, dude. He paid.
Why, when he's manufacturing it? Why would he solve it when he's actively trying to do this?
Well, that's the point. He's not going to solve the problem. He's going to move the problem for a time. He actually, if I'm not mistaken, it was United Way, which, for the record, do not donate to United Way, whoever's out there listening, because they do shit like this all the time. They've been caught. They're one of these NGO nonprofit situations. He hired them to bus all the homeless people to Oakland and to like more North California while Xi was in town, and then paid all this from California tax dollars, I might add, to bus them back to Skid Row and like back to all this. It's a whole thing. And he's about to do the same thing for the entirety of the Olympics. So that none of the people are going to see the fentanyl induced streets of LA. That's not going to happen. No zombies leaning, just kind of whatever, defying the laws of balance, somehow staying on their feet when there's no way you could do that if you had to. They're not going to see that.
They're defying laws of physics, not balance, physics.
Yeah. So they're not going to get seen like that. LA is going to get seen as like the crown jewel of America, and it's going to be hilarious. I'm just saying, watch for the wildness to go down. I want to see the protesters. I want to see the dudes with the signs and the crazy colored hair people with the signs whenever they're seeing these homeless people getting like forcibly shoved onto Greyhound buses because they think that they're going to some kind of concentration camp. In reality, they're just going to the streets of Sacramento for a while or something. I don't know. Anyway, let's read about it, y'all, just for a little bit. And there's only really one part that I really wanted to mention, but all right. In London, as Europe endures a relentless heat wave, the Danube's historic lows are disrupting nuclear power operations and revealing the far-reaching impacts of the continent's climate crisis. Okay, I'm cool with that. A climate crisis, instead of saying global warming, it's hot. The climate sucks. This is a crisis. Okay, I'm cool with that verbiage being used here. A nuclear power plant in Bulgaria has so far not reduced its capacity despite lower water levels in the Danube. However, last week, a cruise ship in Bulgaria was forced to evacuate almost 200 tourists after it went aground near the port city of Vidin. Not sure if I pronounced it right. It's fine. According to the Associated Press. The Danube's retreat has also exposed World War II relics. In Serbia, drought has brought dozens of Nazi-era German warships scuttled during the 1944 retreat back into view. A stark reminder of how dramatically the river has receded. Also, given a really cool opportunity for some, local explorers. You know what I mean? But anyway, moving forward here, there is, in fact, wildfires going on. And again, just to the same level that I mentioned of the devastation of the wildfires in the Pacific Northwest and around the United States, these need to get helped with. Okay, so weeks of hot weather have led to ideal conditions for wildfires in Europe, which have been particularly destructive in Greece in recent days. In the region of Western Attica, close to Athens, firefighters aim to take advantage of a break in high winds to control a fire that has been burning since last week. On Monday, the flames had jumped containment lines to stop the fire from spreading. Wow. Greek state media on Tuesday morning said that over 500 firefighters were tracking the blaze, including multiple helicopters. Fire department deputy spokesperson Artapois told the outlet that conditions were constantly changing, making the flames difficult to tackle. Anyway, all right. I wanted to get down to the part where they talk about the temperatures that we're looking at here, okay? Record heat continues across the continent. Overnight Tuesday, and this is a fair point, overnight Tuesday in Czech Republic recorded its highest overnight temperature ever, which was 82 degrees Fahrenheit. To be honest, now I understand that in the United States, in the South, and by South I do mean true South, getting a night where it's over 85 degrees at midnight, that happens. Like, we get that, sure. It's not a norm. It's also not uncommon. It's kind of just one of those things. In the Czech Republic, that's a bit concerning. It's a bit much. And I understand that. But understand that also, this could be fixed with a single window unit. Just throwing it out. But again, that's not really helping the whole, wildfire and drought situation, but it would definitely make people a whole lot happier for their time. You know what I'm saying here. Anyway. Also, while we're speaking on international things, there was a brutal terrorist attack, a bombing at a Moscow restaurant that killed 3 people. Just found out about this. We are all learning about this together. I haven't even watched this yet, so sight unseen. Let's learn together, y'all.
A bomb explodes at a restaurant in Russia's capital city of Moscow last night, killing 3 people and hurting more than 20. Stephanie Bennett is live in London following that investigation. Stephanie.
Hey, John. Yeah, well, the Moscow mayor called this attack on the restaurant a brutal terrorist act. Now, Russia's National Anti-Terrorism Committee says a woman attempted to smuggle the bomb into an upscale Italian restaurant, but a security guard refused to let her in as the place was closed for a private function. Well, the bomb was then detonated, killing her, the security guard, and a customer, while injuring more than 20 others. No one has claimed responsibility, and the investigation is still ongoing. Earlier this year, Russia's Federal Security Service said authorities would tighten security around senior military and government officials after a series of assassination attempts following, of course, the Kremlin's full-scale invasion of Ukraine. But so far, there's been no connections between yesterday's attack and this war. Meanwhile, of course, the fighting does continue, though. Ukrainian drone strikes killed at least 8 people in Russia overnight, hitting oil refineries and airbase, and this warehouse, as you can see, belonging to Wildberries, which is Russia's largest online retailer. Ukrainian forces are striking further, hitting economic and energy targets. While over in Ukraine, President Zelensky says 16 regions were under attack this week as they desperately seek more ballistic missile interceptors. He says the shortage is encouraging Russia to seize the moment and strike. U.S. Secretary of State Marco Rubio told Fox News peace talks should resume soon.
You're going to see some efforts over the next few weeks to see if we can't restart talks between the two sides and bring this war to an end. But we also understand that both sides have some pretty strong red lines. And until we can bring those red lines a little closer together, we're not going to be there yet.
Again, no one has claimed responsibility for the attack in Moscow. We'll keep an eye on things very closely. John?
Real quick, Tony, I would love for you to speak in on this one. Have you, on your end, heard anything about this terrorist attack in Moscow? I haven't really. This is the first time I've heard about it, and the Ukrainians are not claiming that it was them. It may have been. I don't know. It may have very well been Islamic terrorist group, something along. Who knows? But have you heard anything?
Yeah, I just heard the same information that you played from other sources earlier, and they've been trading missile strikes too. And I think Ukraine's probably running out of interceptors, and the front lines advancing a little bit more quickly than normal, just a little bit. I still think it's probably not going to be over next month or anything. But the other thing going on is that Zelensky is trying to combine the Russia-Ukraine war with the America-Iran war. So he actually launched some missiles at Iran, from what I heard.
Wait,
like a week ago.
Zelensky did?
Yeah, it was like some drones or missiles or something like that. He's basically trying to combine, he's trying to merge the wars into one because, Americans don't want to get involved in Ukraine, but Americans feel like they're already involved in Iran.
Which we don't want to be. Like, that's not a hot, like, oh, wow. Wow.
Yeah.
That's phenomenal. So Zelensky's trying to get to show America, hey, I'll attack Iran if you also attack Russia. Enemy of my enemy, right? And it's like, dude, stop that.
Yeah, it really reminds me of how the Gallipoli campaign started.
Yeah.
I was explaining this to my kids a few weeks ago that Russia was thinking of making a separate peace with Germany in 1916. So the British, in order to show Russia that the British were really serious about fighting the war against Turkey, they launched the Anzac campaign against Turkey. Because even though it failed, it had the one silver lining, even if it failed, of showing the Russians that the British were serious about Turkey, so the Russians should be serious about Germany. And it kept the Russians in the war with Germany.
At that point, it was the Ottoman Empire?
Ottoman Empire.
Yeah, but what we would call Turkey today. But yeah, dude, that is a bold strategy. Let's go, because like we've said before, the whole Russia-Ukraine situation is going to boil down to a war of attrition. It's going to be who runs out of manpower or who runs out of bullets first. And that's what it's going to happen. Zelensky's not going to call it quits. I don't believe Putin's going to either. I don't think this is going to come to an end anytime soon. And if it does, it's going to be because some third party had and it might be America, it might be, I don't know, basically gets tired of the shit and says, you know what, fuck both of you. If y'all don't get it together, we're just going to bomb you both, which I don't think that's coming. I genuinely don't. So yeah, I don't think the Ukraine-Russia conflict is going to get situated anytime soon. But Zelensky's resources are already starting to crumble a bit, and for him to use some of his armaments, drones or missiles or whatever, to attack Iran in like a move of solidarity, that is a bold strategy, Cotton. We'll see if it works out for him. Anyway, Sam, I see your hand, dude.
Sorry, you had I was paying attention, but I was also playing the Minecraft. Then I heard how the British try to fight the Turks and everything in World War One.
Yeah.
So World War One is actually the collapse of the Ottoman Empire, in which some people say, "Oh, it's not an actual empire." Under what measurement? Because say what you will, it's an empire, but I personally think that the Ottoman Empire is still a thing, a lot like the Roman Empire is.
Oh no, the Ottoman Empire was absolutely a real empire. I don't think we've ever heard somebody try to say that it wasn't. Interesting.
Yeah.
I don't know. It was. I mean, if you want to call it maybe a loose confederation, whatever. It had a Shah. Like it had the guy.
And I mean, I said, can we take back Constantinople now?
Probably not.
I refuse to call it. I refuse to call it Istanbul because why would I want to stand in a bull? No, I want Constantinople. And have you seen like read up on the last king of Constantinople and how he went out like a G fighting so that the women and kids can get out?
Yeah, it was pretty dope. Yeah, it's been a while since I reviewed it, but yeah, I do remember it was like a full-on siege, and he basically was like, all right, fuck it, y'all get out the back way while I keep him distracted up front.
He and his men went down like how true men should, buying time for the women and children to get out.
Yeah, that's pretty solid, man. Tony, I see you unmuted yourself. What's up?
Oh, I was going to say, I think the title was Sultan Mehmet II, who was the last, and then it was Mustafa Kemal Ataturk, who took over in 1922, and there are a lot of conspiracy theories about how much influence Jewish people had in the Ottoman Empire, especially over the finances of it.
Really?
Yeah, it's true. And Kemal Ataturk is allegedly a secret crypto Jew.
I didn't know that. I just found out that Erdogan's son killed a guy and got away with it scot-free a couple years back. I just found that out. I didn't know anything about these other ones. That's interesting. No.
Yeah, I hadn't heard that one.
It was like I don't know if it was a drunk driving accident or what, but like definitely killed somebody and basically didn't even see like the inside of a jail cell or even get arrested. He pretty much, Erdogan made a phone call and it just kind of beep-a-doop, gone. We're not talking about that anymore, but yeah.
So
anyway,
we have crypto vampires?
I didn't know that, but yeah, sure. I don't know what classifies. I don't know what classifies a crypto Jew versus a religious Jew versus a hereditary Jew, or maybe it's all the same thing. Just one dude became a crypto bro. I don't know.
Vampire's a vampire.
Well, the main place it came from in Spain and Portugal was after 1492 when the Inquisition started. Spain and Portugal basically encouraged or forced a lot of Jews to convert to Catholicism. And a lot of them kind of halfway converted or secretly remained Jewish and practicing their rituals privately. And a lot of them, if they wanted to stay in Spain anyway, and if they didn't want to stay in Spain, that's why a lot of them left for places like Turkey, the Netherlands, and the Atlantic, including the Azores and the Caribbean, and became a big part of the sugar trade and the slave trade. And the rest is history. But crypto refers to, if they tried to pretend to be Christian. And it was mostly having to do with Spain. I guess the Ottoman Empire might have had a similar phase where, you'll be a dhimmi if you don't convert. But if you convert, you'll get all these additional legal privileges. And then maybe some of them kind of halfway converted there too. I don't know as much about the Ottoman experience, but that's what the crypto or crypsis description comes from.
Okay, crypto means something else in our modern jargon. So I genuinely thought you meant like one of the top dogs in Turkey is like a crypto Jew, meaning he's like a Jewish dude from Israel, but he's also a crypto bro. I didn't know what you meant, so my bad. That's on me. I'll claim ignorance and just dumbassery on that one. But anyway, hold on, that's not what I wanted to click on. I did want to click on this though. Okay, so now we are talking about the mass shooting that took place in Idaho at an In-N-Out burger. Y'all, this is mind-blowing. Not that a shooting took place. That's bad. It's not good. But, okay, shootings happen. That's a thing that takes place. All right, got you. A civilian carrying a firearm, which y'all know that I stay strapped at all times, just in case, did his lawful duty and stopped the crime from being committed and saved who knows how many people's lives. Excellent. The weapon he used is an interesting choice for EDC, everyday carry, for those that don't know. That I don't know many people that would just walk around with that tucked in their pants. You know what I'm saying? But, let's get into it. So, a driver charging his electric taxi and a former law enforcement officer who tried to intervene were among the 7 people wounded in a mass shooting in an Idaho fast food restaurant that also left 3 people dead, according to friends and relatives of the 2 men. The attack Saturday happened at a new In-N-Out burger in Twin Falls, ended when a gunman identified by police as 24-year-old Chad Williams. Bro, when I called him a Chad earlier, I didn't know his actual name was Chad. That's awesome. That Chad to the max here. Shot and killed himself. Wait, hold on. Is this the same attack that I'm thinking of here? Let's see here. On Monday, police were still trying to determine why Williams carried out the attack, which happened early in afternoon in a busy shopping plaza in southern Idaho City. Many details about Williams' life are still unknown Monday, but an initial search of the court records in Idaho and Arizona, where he used to live, didn't show any criminal cases matching his name and birth date. I don't know if this is the same one. I was talking about the dude that stopped the shooting. This dude shot himself.
That dude shot at him. The dude you're talking about, the dude carrying the FN with the goddamn suppressor on it. Yeah, that's the same shooting, but he only shot at him. The kid ended up shooting himself. So everybody's like, "Oh, he stopped the shooting. He stopped this." No, he distracted him for a minute, and then the kid ended up shooting himself. But every report has been back and forth. Like, I swear to God, nobody got the right talking points on the emails this fucking morning, and everyone I've read has said some different shit. It's like, what the fuck are we doing here?
I'm glad you clarified that, brother, because I'm reading this. I got a certain story earlier. I pulled up y'all sent me this article, so I was like, hell yeah, this is gonna talk. Okay, we're learning this together, y'all, in real time. Here we go. So a man who knew the gunman said that he was pretty chill. Okay, Elijah Mosley, who lived across the hall from Williams in College of Southern Idaho dorm a few years ago, described him as an introvert and a pretty chill guy. He was never scared or weirded out by him. Mosley said he was considered Williams a relatively close friend, though they lost touch a couple of years ago. I'm shocked by this and sick to my stomach about it. Detectives are confident that Williams acted alone, Police Chief Matthew Hicks said Sunday, noting that Williams' family is cooperating fully with the investigation. Okay, got you. Cool. 2 of the wounded victims were treated in a hospital and released. 3 were listed as stable, and 2 others were in critical condition. During the attack, an off-duty state trooper and a civilian fired on Williams. Okay, so Chad Williams is the shooter. He's not when I called the dude a Chad that pulled out the 5.7, that wasn't him. My bad. I was way off on that one. Okay. So a civilian fired on Williams and diverted him from the restaurant. The chief said police haven't disclosed their names or those of the victims, but some of the victims have identified by friends and relatives. Twin Falls spokesperson Josh Palmer said Monday that police are still trying to identify the next of kin. Okay. The In-N-Out employee was among those killed. Let's see. An employee at the burger joint was among those killed. Fast food chain owner said in a statement she didn't identify the worker. Kimberly Castaneda confirmed to the Associated Press that her brother, Christopher Blanche, that is an unfortunate name, was among those killed, but she declined to discuss him further. Garen Taylor, one of Blanche's friends, said that 2 years ago, Blanche completed a rehab program for alcohol abuse. Well, that sucks. Okay, he helped hundreds of people. He was just a gift to anyone he came into contact with. It wasn't about the paychecks. It was his attitude was, I get to help someone today. Damn. All right, so let's see. Wounded man moved closer to gunfire to help. In a Facebook post, Marcus Scott James and his son, Austin or AJ, was critically wounded in the attack and faces a long recovery. He said his son was shot after he moved towards the danger when he heard the gunfire in an effort to protect others. Marcus James said in a message to the AP on Monday that his son used to work as a law enforcement officer for the Twin Falls Police. He declined to comment further on his son's actions, saying it's his son's story to tell. All right. Terry Dudley, a driver of the North Star Taxi, was shot as he was charging one of the company's Teslas in a parking lot next to the In-N-Out Burger. Got you. Palmer and Dudley called him to tell him he was shot after he couldn't get through to 911. He said Dudley was flown to a hospital in Boise and remained there Monday with serious injuries. Dudley was kind of like my right hand. Got you. All right, we're not going to talk about the gunman because, fuck him. But okay, so this article didn't really go into the details that I wanted to go into, sadly enough. So apparently the dude was a former police officer that pulled out the 5.7. Tristan, if you know more info on this one, brother, please illuminate us here, because I'm in the dark.
Yeah, I don't know, man. It's like I've been trying to do my best to keep up with it, but I thought that dude who's in critical condition, he was an off-duty cop, right, Mom?
That's what it says, off duty, or he used to be a police officer. Either way.
Yeah, he was off-duty cop, and supposedly he engaged him but missed the kid and ended up getting shot. Now he's critical. And then the dude that had the FN with the suppressor on it, like, I mean, you've seen the video. He comes out of fucking nowhere.
Dude, and
holding a silenced pistol, like nobody, like, dude, we all every day carry. Who the fuck? Have you ever held an FN? It's not small. Put a suppressor in it. That bitch is fucking even not smaller. Like, the whole story is just retarded as fuck.
Dude, it's mind blowing.
My mom just told me that there is a kid on a motorcycle. He was a passerby or whatever across the street, riding his fucking bike, and all of a sudden I had bad pain in his arm. Looked down and he's fucking bleeding. Didn't even know that he got shot, and I guess he caught around from God knows which one of the goddamn.
Dude, legit catching strays out here. Holy shit! He's on a motorcycle minding his business and just gets shot by ops he didn't even know he had.
Yeah, I feel like they're trying to force psyops in a fucking state where we don't play. And like all the reporters haven't been able to get their shit straight. So now everybody in the world's just like, what the fuck is really going on here? Like, it just goes to show.
Yeah.
I swear to God, man, I swear a huge percentage of all the fucking shootings in the past probably past 10 years are all like MK Ultra shit. Do you guys know about the voice to skull technology? Like, Dr. Robert Duncan, go look him up and his fucking YouTube videos and shit. He was actually friends with my cousin, and I met this dude years and years ago before I was ever a conspiracy theorist. And he was telling me about that shit back then. He used to work for these companies, and then he got blacklisted, turned into an alcoholic, and then for the last couple of years of his life tried to come back around and start fucking bringing the survivors of these fucking technologies and people that have been fucking fucked with. And all of a sudden he died under mysterious circumstances. Like, everything is fucking connected, and I can't stand it anymore.
No, I agree. And that's why I love the show, The Cult of Conspiracy, man. We talk about all the crazy shit. But as far as this one goes, dude, like, I know that Idaho be strapped. Like, I know that. Got you. I never in my life thought that I would see a video in the wild. You know what I mean? This isn't like some dude at a range. This isn't some YouTuber. Out there in them streets, y'all got dudes concealed carrying a 5.7 suppressed just in their pants, just ready to go. Brother, what are we doing? What is happening here? Like, I know there's always a greater than 0% chance of some wild shit. This might be the wildest I've heard of. Like, for those that don't understand, we're talking about carrying, and I'm being a little facetious here, like a foot of steel. Aluminum, whatever.
Mom just said that he was sitting in his car, so his FN was in his car, I guess.
Okay. All right. That's a little more better, but not much.
No, yeah.
Who the fuck suppresses that? The weight on that thing.
I mean, it's literally a fucking rifle cartridge that they decided to put in a fucking pistol. Like, it's crazy.
And then your boy puts a can on the front. Like, yo, this is crazy work. Like, don't get me wrong. First of all, motion detected. But also, this is crazy work. I would love to find out more about that gentleman himself, but it's still so new. Apparently, they're not really opening up about the details of it yet. So we're just going to have to catch up on it when the time comes. Also, while we're talking about the wildness here, inside the married New Jersey prison guard's illicit affair with an inmate and the X-rated texts that they sent. So, all right, this woman is a prison guard, Jordan Pinsack, and apparently she was a corrections officer at the Federal Corrections Institute in Fort Dix, Burlington County, and is accused of sexual abuse. Now, you make your determination on that one. I'll make mine, but let's read about it. We don't be knowing. right? We don't be knowing. We're going to learn together. So why? I hate when they do that. The married federal prison guard accused of having sex with an inmate sent salacious texts to the felon about wearing vibrating underwear and her desire for his big man hands, according to court documents, dude. I gotta say, that's also one of my favorite things. Whenever, like, they read the text messages from somebody, and, like, even if both people were super consensual and into it, there are certain text messages, and I've tried, dude. I have tried telling my homies out there that are still single and are out there hoeing and shit. I tried telling them, if you're gonna send a text, make sure it looks good in a screenshot. Whatever you're about to send, it could be a picture, could be words, doesn't matter, it could be an emoji. If this chick screenshots this and sends it out to all her girls, make sure that you're putting yourself in the best light possible. That's something for all of y'all. Keep that one up there, right? But man, having text messages read in a court of law, it don't matter if it looks good in a screenshot. There's no way of making certain text messages like work out for you. Really, you know. Jordan Pinsack, a 27-year-old corrections officer, we talked about that, was charged last week with sexual abuse after investigators discovered the trove of dirty messages. I'm getting you vibrating panties, the inmate allegedly texted Pinsack amid one smutty exchange in August 2025. So this has been going on for a little while here, okay? And how the hell is he going to get hurt? Never mind, I'm going to get into it. Pinsack later wrote about her lust for the felon's big man hands in the explicit back and forth, the complaint states. Starting in 2024, Pinsack had sex with the unidentified inmate several times in an office at the prison while the inmate paid other prisoners to act as lookouts during the romps. The federal charge alleges the pair exchanged over 100 sexually explicit messages, photos, and videos, which were discovered when her phone was seized by investigators who caught wind of the relationship. She said in text that she believed one of the other inmates had snitched on the couple, but insisted they can't prove nothing. In the text messages found on her phone, the prison guard even joked about believing the inmate had impregnated her, according to investigators. Bro, these people watched Orange is the New Black like one too many times and thought that shit was real life. Like, that's the only thing that's going on here. In January 2026, she texted a former inmate at the prison and revealed, I am 3 days late for my period. You ready to be an uncle? Bro, texted that to a former inmate. So, all right. That ain't good for the investigation, Pinsack continued, according to... If the baby's black and my husband white and Korean, she said, bro, this woman's out here. She's going all the way, man. If the baby black and my husband white and Korean. Dude, the fuck? She also told the ex-guard that their most recent lookout knocked on the door and opened it without us saying shit, and he almost seen dick swanging. Bro, you in prison. He's seen enough dick swanging. What are you talking about? Holy shit. Continuing with the text messages. We freak nasty. Keep telling you this is, she allegedly told the guard in another text on February. This is the only thing he won't do is let me in them cheeks. Bro, what? What? What is happening? we freak nasty. Keep telling you this is the only thing he won't let do. Wait, what the hell? Only thing he won't do is let me in them cheeks. Yo, was she pegging him? Or was that a miss? Was that a typo? He was trying to say like she won't let me in. Bro, this is crazy work. This is crazy work. The spokesperson for the Federal Bureau of Prisons confirmed to the Post that Pinsack had been placed on administrative leave pending the outcome of the criminal proceedings. Y'all bet. In another text message with a friend, Pinsack was asked if the relationship involved sex or contraband, to which she replied, both. Both. She'd be bringing things in to do the things, you know. When she was asked if she knew she could be criminally charged, her response was, yes, I know. All right, word up. In one lengthy conversation with one of Penzak's pals that spanned between February 2025 and May 2026, she allegedly revealed that she and the inmate got fucked up at work high as fuck. Okay, so you've been sneaking things in. You've been sneaking in them little weed cartridges in. You and old boy been getting high as fuck and just banging it out in the office. Y'all got a couple of like lookouts. Y'all pay them in ramen packets, probably something close. And like, you don't be caring. You thought the dude might have got you pregnant. Baby's going to come out black and your husband's a white Korean dude. He's a Asian like our spirit animal here, but of a different breed. I get it. And the baby going to come out high yellow. And that's a whole other problem that you ain't even considered yet. You knew damn good and well it was bad. You knew damn good and well it was against the law. You brought in contraband, all this shit. In February 2026, she revealed to another friend that she was a week late for her period, according to the text. And she said that she would not be keeping it because that would make the investigation 1,000 times worse. So she's also cool with murdering an unborn child. That's a thing that she's going for. Hell yeah, because got to keep that shit together, girl. Murder on top of all of it. That's good for the old psyche. She also reached out to one of the inmates' family members about the pregnancy scare. Bro, what? Yo! She didn't give a fuck. I kind of wish I was pregnant just to know it's possible, she allegedly wrote. I know I couldn't keep it, and to go through all that without him would be hard on me. Bro, this is crazy work, y'all. This is crazy work. This chick is out of her fucking mind. How in the hell did they allow her to keep her job this long? Like, there's no way. She was charged with sexual abuse and released on bail. She faces a maximum of 15 years behind bars if convicted. Dude, to be a prison guard and then end up in prison because you couldn't just not be a hoe. That's wild. That is absolutely wild, but wow. I think Royce is the one that shared that with us, and we appreciate you for that one, Royce, because I had no idea about this one. That's next level. Okay. He also shared this one, locked in a psych ward. Oh, I'm sorry, Sam, go ahead. I'm sure you're going to want to weigh in on this one. Speak on behalf of your Asian brother that's been wronged by this hussy.
Yeah, so fuck that heifer. And have you noticed a lot, for whatever reason, prison guards and cops, I'm not saying all of them because they're outstanding female cops and just regular cops. They are just regular cops. But this bitch, and then you go back a couple years, the bitch that was letting everyone smash except her husband.
And the chief.
Dude.
Yeah. She was getting gangbanged by the entire department, all of which were African American, but the only one she wouldn't let smash was the chief. I remember that shit. She got ran through the mud. Oh, it was a mess.
And I'm sorry, but if you're gonna cook your husband or your wife or whatever the fuck, being a dick, I don't. If y'all consenting adults, no shame on you, but if you're doing that, just get divorced. Because if you're gonna cheat, there's no fucking reason to even be married, because if you're not happy, just leave. It works out better in the long run for everybody. But if you're a cheating motherfucker, fuck you. I hope you catch the gonorrhea or syphilis, and I hope you stub your big toe, and every time right before it heals up completely, you stub that bitch again.
I would have to agree with you. Cheating is just, it's never good. You know what I mean? And if you're going to be about that life,
it destroys people.
It does. Look, there's options. There's depending on the couple. I'm not I'm not saying that everybody should go into the cuck life or the swing life or some other variations of do you? As long as everybody's consenting adults and you're not being dishonest, fine. Do you? You know what I'm saying? I'm not in a position to judge nobody, and I get that. But this is an extra level of dirty because it wasn't caught up in the moment, or you made a really fucked up mistake because you were really drunk at a bar one night. And I'm not saying those are acceptable, but I'm saying these things do happen. You're going to have to pay a fine and the recompense with your husband, all these things. To do it at work when you're a prison guard with a prisoner, race has no bearing on this one. The only reason race got brought up was because talking about the baby and all that. That's funny. But no, regardless of all that shit, Like could you imagine if this was a male guard at a female prison? I'm throwing, and I know that has happened before for sure, right? Like aside from the gender role conversation, all that. To do that with a coworker or somebody from work, I should say, not a coworker, somebody from work, tangentially, if nothing else, and then to keep that going for a year behind your husband's back and almost got pregnant once already and then thought you were again, like, yo, like, no, this bitch did not learn her lesson whatsoever, and I don't think she'll learn her lesson from this either at all.
That bitch is for the streets.
She belongs to them streets. That is a fact. Anyway, all right, moving on to the next topic here. Locked in a psych ward, he told them his name for 2 years and nobody listened. This is an interesting one. Homeboy was locked in a psych ward where he wasn't supposed to be for 2 years. And then finally they're like, wait a minute, what? So I'm going to try to pronounce this dude's name. Joshua Spreisterbach told everyone who would listen that he was not Thomas Castleberry. He told police officers who arrested him. He told the public defenders assigned to his case. He told the psychiatrists and health workers at the Hawaii State Hospital, where he eventually was transferred and held against his will. He told them for more than 2 years, every single time the system decided that a man insisting on his own name was proof that something was wrong with him. They sent him to a psych ward because he kept saying, that's not my name. In March 2026, a settlement agreement confirmed what anyone paying attention already knew. The system had been catastrophically wrong. Spreisterbach, who was wrongfully arrested and detained at a Hawaii State Psychiatric Hospital for 2 years, is set to receive $975,000 payout from the city and the county of Honolulu. Good. Get that man his bag. Absolutely. He missed 2 years worth of his life in a psych ward because y'all thought he was someone else. Yeah, pay that man. He was homeless and had schizophrenia when he told the truth repeatedly. Spreisterbach was homeless and had schizophrenia when he told the truth repeatedly while the people holding the keys labeled that truth as delusional. Every institution that was supposed to catch the mistake decided at each turn that catching it was someone else's problem. How a name became a 9 years? I thought it said 2. What the hell? Hold on. According to Associated Press, the error began in 2011 when Spreisterbach, then sleeping at Kawananakoa Middle School, was asked for his name by an officer. He withheld his first name, providing only his grandfather's surname, Castleberry. The officer found a 2009 warrant for a man named Thomas Castleberry and arrested Spreisterbach, despite his protest that he was not the man they were looking for. Oh, well, damn, dude. You gave the officer a false name. Yeah. What? Okay. The bench warrant for Spreisterbach was later dropped after he missed a court date, but the mistaken identity continued to follow him. In 2015, officers encountered him again. Well, yeah, once they arrested him and booked him and had a mugshot with this dude's face attached to that name, yeah, okay. And fingerprints and shit too, and like all the, yeah, dude. In 2015, officers encountered him again. They confirmed through fingerprints that he was not Thomas Castleberry, according to the lawsuit he filed in 2021. Okay, the police department's records were never updated. Whoa, from 2015 to 2021, they were not updated. That's wild. When officers found him outside a Chinatown shelter in 2017, he was 46 years old. A Honolulu police officer arrested him on a warrant intended for Thomas Castleberry, a convicted drug user, car thief, and burglar. No one checked the fingerprints to verify that they had the correct person. When Spreisterbach insisted that he was not Thomas Castleberry, he was deemed delusional and sent to the state psychiatric facility, where he spent more than 2 years forced to take powerful antipsychotic medications that he did not need. Oh, yeah, that's where that money's coming from. Police officers, public defenders, and health workers all had the chance to correct the mistake that led to his detention, but nobody did so. Prior to January 2020, not a single person acted on the available information to determine that Joshua was telling the truth and that he was not Thomas R. Castleberry. Wow. I mean, they just kind of go more in depth with it, but hey, almost $1 million for 2 years worth of your time. And like, granted, that's horrible. Like to take those antidepressants and antipsychotics for 2 years when like you don't need to be medicated. That sucks. But also 2 years for $1 million. I mean, I've seen a lot of people do a lot worse shit for a lot less money. That's all I'm saying. But I don't know. If he was homeless before he got arrested, I don't know if he's going to make like very wise decisions with his newfound wealth. Maybe. We could hope. We can hope and pray. But I am glad that finally the truth has come out on this. I wanted to end on this one, y'all. This is something that was brought up on the Cult Live last night, and I thought it was worth really looking into. This is Satiris. I don't know how to pronounce the company, but this is the new super humanoid general purpose robot. Now, for those that are just listening to this, you need to first of all come check us out at patreon.com/Cajun Night, or come check out the YouTube channel. While you're there, give me a subscribe, a follow, hit me in the comments. Comment on this episode. Tell me things you would like for me to report on in the future and what else. But this is 3 halves, is what the website says. This is the torso of something humanoid, the body and legs of something quadruped, think horse or, something like that, and the head of a goat with horns. Here's my question. There was zero reason to even have the head here. Without the head, this could have still been a very effective robot. Hell, and at that logic, there was no need for the torso. You could have attached the arms right here and had it do the same fucking function that this robot can do. Somehow, these geniuses decided, we need a goat man horse hybrid robot to be a superhuman. And no one in the design team thought that might be a bit off-putting. No, everybody was like, we need to paint it black too, obviously. Like, it's crazy. It's crazy work. Sam, go ahead and speak on it, dude. This is wild.
Okay, so can you go back up to pull up where the name of the company is right now? All right. If you notice, so that says Satiris. I don't know if that's how. If you don't know, I don't believe that's how they pronounce it, but that's how it's in my head. You know what a satyr is? Like, I promise you, this is all going to make sense.
It's like a half man, half goat, like Pan, correct?
Yes, Pan is the lord of the satyrs. Anyway, and Pan is also the only Greek god to actually to die. The Titans, they were imprisoned. Kronos was chopped up, but he didn't die. Anyway, then you also have Chiron and Charon. Chiron was the one that would train the heroes and everything. He trained, if I'm not mistaken, he also trained Achilles or whatever. But he was a centaur with that shot a bow and everything. But it's also another like famous satyr was the one that taught Heracles and everything.
Yeah, and in Disney's Hercules, they made him Philatides, but the storyline of who trained Hercules and in Greek Heracles,
And in the Disney's Hercules, that he really should have been called Heracles, or they should have made him Roman, because Hercules is the Roman form. But when you look at that, that's obviously that's built like a centaur and everything, which was Chiron. But with the head, I can't help but think maybe they kind of took inspiration from Goatman in the type of way, because it can carry a chainsaw. If you just put an axe, you have a Goatman bow.
There's a picture of it with a chainsaw attached to it.
I know. And if I'm not mistaken, its eyes supposed to glow red.
They do. Like, that's the design team.
There's a manual that tells you how to fucking kill it.
With fire, I guess.
No, like guns, knives, and shit. It tells you what like to go for the weak points.
Again, this is so many design flaws on this, but yeah, the first man. I see your hand, brother. Speak in on it. Okay, there you go.
I'm wondering whose AI is going to be powering this thing, and when are they going to start building the Golden Calf tanks?
Ooh, I didn't even consider that as an option. First of all, the AI that's powering it, I'm with you. I'm very curious which AI is going to be powering it. Not that any of them is good, but some are less, how can I put this? They don't want to kill humans as fast, so that's important. But also, the golden calf tanks. Nah, I didn't even consider that as an option, but that's something we really need to consider now. Because, yup. God, dog, this is a crazy world we're living in, y'all. It really is. Before I get out of here, though, I do want to check the chat to see what everybody's been saying. I meant to do that throughout the episode, but I do be, kind of getting lost in the sauce as far as the whole the episode goes here. Let's see. Talked about that. Can we feed the vampire lords chicken? I don't know if you can. I'm pretty sure Jews can eat chicken, dog. Dawn said, when I was a welder in the yards, that was from way earlier. Okay. All I was going to ask is if he was still breathing. Also, did he try the redneck vasectomy? Some might call it a ripoff. Oh, God, what was that in reference to, Sam? You sent that at like 9:20.
The Perez guy.
Oh, no. I don't believe that he mutilated his genitals. He may have. I don't know. I haven't watched the video. It stayed up for way too long, and they said it was from a algorithmic error or something. No, dude, that wasn't no error. Y'all left it up because y'all want the gore porn like sick fucks. That's what that was. But anyway.
They did how many days they had of Charlie Kirk trending his death video.
Yes. It's disturbing all the way through. But I am happy to see that Perez Hilton is alive. I don't oh man, I loved his content. Like, no, I've seen a few things he's put out, and some stuff I thought was super cringe. Some stuff I thought was, entertaining, whatever. I just don't want to see somebody go out like that publicly on a live stream. Like, dude, that's really fucked up for everybody involved, There's anyway. No mention of the vegetable being cut off as of today that I saw. Don said that. Let's see. Trump pretends to be a general. Tony sent this. It was an X post. I haven't seen that. Let's see where this goes. Huh. Oh, God, it's an AI image. Trump's being Trump. Nothing new under the sun. He made himself the Pope. He literally made himself the Pope. We're shocked that he made himself a general. Of course he did. He's over here like, well, only the consequential presidents get tried, attacked, assassinated. I'm very consequential. He's Trump. He's doing Trump things. I'm not saying that's a good thing. I'm just saying he's doing Trump things. Let's see. Maybe Perez should be in an asylum. Cool. Okay, looks like everything's... Oh, if Kane is backing her with Republican, there's a problem. Oh, okay. They will blame RFK just because he's the new health czar. Oh, I'm sure of that. I'm sure they're going to blame him. We're talking about the new CDC director. That's what that's in reference to. Dehydration, not heat, if it's 85 degrees. Yeah, for real. Again, y'all, I can't promote this enough. Europe, we have developed air conditioning. It's time to get on the ball with this. It's 2026. It's like saying you're not eating ass. Grow up. Stop this foolishness. Become an adult like the rest of us. Okay, that's all I'm saying. Anyway, crypto Jews gotta be the gypsies. The crypto Jews. Oh, they kind of converted, kind of didn't. No, dude, they converted and start calling themselves the gypsies. I'm joking. Oh God, let that become a part of the fucking lore of the gypsies. Holy shit, they're actually Jewish all along. They're actually Indian, but never mind. No, they're the crypto Jews. Oh my God. Yep. That's going to become a part of the lore as I talk shit about people and things. All in good humor, but here we are.
The gypsies are the calico vampires, God damn it.
The calico vampires.
We talked about this yesterday, I'm pretty sure. The calico because they're colorful. They wear the red fucking scarves, the headbands, and all the fucking jewelry. They are Calico Jack as a race. They are the calico vampires.
I should mention most of them are devout Catholic, just so we're clear.
I thought the Romani gypsies claim that they hail from one of the lost tribes.
So, actual history, they come from the Hindu Kush mountain range areas. But as far as religion goes, They carry a lot of folk tradition, and by that you could mean like, magic, quote unquote, or something along those lines. But they also venerate the Black Madonna, and they are pretty much all devoutly Catholic if they are religious.
Okay, be kind, we mind. What the fuck is the Black Madonna?
So Madonna is a term for the Blessed Mother Mary, holding the baby.
I thought that was the crazy bitch that wore a steak suit.
She took the name from the Madonna. It's called the Madonna and Child. It's a sculpture, right? It's a thing. And so they venerate, in the Black Madonna, it's basically made out of black stone. And the gypsies use that as like their sigil, so to speak. But Madonna, the singer that you're talking about, there's reasons why she's been excommunicated from the Catholic Church. Also because of what she did with a rosary in a music video. But that's neither here nor there.
But she did what with the rosary now?
You could look up the music video. It's, basically, that was the final straw. The church was okay with her using Madonna as a stage name. They weren't happy about it, but it was okay. When I think she used it like a G string or something. Basically, the Catholic Church decided, all right, you've crossed the line. You're excommunicated. You're going to hell. Whatever. But no, most gypsies, if they are religious. Huh?
Doesn't Madonna have something to do with Epstein also?
I'm sure of it.
She was in the files.
I don't have that confirmed, but I'm pretty positive that she's involved in some way, for sure. But, the gypsies, if they are religious, they are usually pretty devoutly Catholic or completely atheist. There's like no in between with them, from what I could tell. Let's see. Moving on, the story. I have body armor. Is that making me some kind of whack job? Yeah, apparently so. Apparently, if they raid your house, they found weapons and body armor and notebooks with disturbing things. Like, you mean my notebook where I jot down conspiratorial conversations? Interesting. If I told you it's not an AR, what would you say? Ooh, okay. Hold on, Tristan. Let me look at this thing now. Let me get a good look at it. It's an AR platform, I'll give you that, but you're saying it's not chambered in 5.56? Interesting. Is it long stroke gas piston, or is it?
Keep scrolling down just a little bit. I gave you a couple of more hints.
It's not okay. It's not an ACAB. Oh, it is an ACAB. No,
ACAB was me talking shit on the cops earlier.
Oh, okay. ACAB.
It's an AK built on an AR platform.
Dude, I literally have one that I'm getting currently. It's a SIG. The mutant dude. What is this one? Who made it?
It is one of my buddies, Charles, who's a tattoo artist here in town.
Yes, indeed. And that's I see it with the AK mags. There we go. Now I see it. What's it chambered in?
7.6.
Oh, it's chambered in. Fuck yeah. Yes, indeed. Which essentially 308. But dude, fuck yeah.
I have her so dialed in, dog. Like, if the blue helmets ever step foot on this fucking soil, they're gonna be mad.
Oh, dude, I love it. I absolutely love it. I'm getting my mutant soon. I have it at my buddy's shop right now. I need to go pick it up. That, and I just got Raven Lee a Keltec, the Halo shotgun looking thing. Nice. Little short shotgun, but it's like it's got the two underslung rails that you could I think it holds like 15 or some shit. It was like, oh yeah. You haven't seen the Keltec shotgun?
Keltec 12 gauge?
Keltec 12 gauge, but there's a version of it where it's just a single tube of rounds on the bottom, and then one that's got the double. It looks like a Halo shotgun.
Dude, all right, that's sick as fuck.
Yeah, my buddy had it at his shop, and I think he was selling it for like $400 or something. And I'm like, dude, that's definitely worth $400 of my time for sure. But anyway, y'all. All right. I think on that note, we're at as good a place as any to wrap up this episode of the Cajun Night Live. I want to thank all of you for coming out this evening and making this episode as fun as it was. We covered all kinds of things, mostly news, some things a little more out of the box than others, but that's okay. It's what we do here. If you are watching right now on YouTube, give me some comments. Give me a follow, a subscribe, all the things. Let's boost it. Let's boost this algorithm. If you're listening on Spotify or Apple Podcasts, on the Cult of Conspiracy podcast, to the Cajun Night Live. Do the same thing. Give me a comments. Help me boost the algorithms. We're trying to make this thing grow into its own information sharing group that gets together once a week to discuss the goings and comings of our lives and what we think is interesting. Sometimes it's religious debate. Sometimes it's geopolitics. Sometimes it's just us talking shit. And we're here for all of it, start to finish. It's always a good time. If you want to come be a part of this conversation, every Wednesday night at 9 p.m. Central, patreon.com/Cajun Night. It's the only place to get these shows commercial free, of course, but it's also the only place that you can join in on this Zoom call and be a part of it and bring your own crazy things from your neck of the woods into the conversation. And I mean, I thoroughly enjoy my Wednesday nights. I know all the members of the retinue do as well. Once again, everybody, I am the Cajun Knight. And as always, God bless.